is subscribed in the name of Jose Ibarra, and the account was activated on August 10th, 2023.
Did you make a determination whether Jose Ibarra was the user of 1B7?
Yes, I did. Based on my analysis and the frequent use of accounts that belong to Mr. Ibarra, as well as I've shown here numerous selfie-style images that are contained within the phone, based on my training and experience in reviewing many phones involved in criminal investigations, it's common for the user of a phone to take pictures of themselves. And so what I'm highlighting here is that over a period of time from August 2023 up until the day of the murder, we have multiple images of Jose taking selfie-style images using that phone.
And one of the images that's dated 2/18/24, do you see that image?
Yes, I do.
And what is Jose Ibarra wearing in that image?
So he's wearing a black t-shirt with a very distinct white pattern, which appears to be consistent with the t-shirt that Mr. Ibarra was wearing underneath the navy blue jacket when he started it. So when we review the surveillance footage and we see him removing the navy blue jacket and stuffing it into the recycling bin in his apartment complex, he appears to be wearing that exact same shirt there. And also reviewing the surveillance footage captured that day in relation to the Rogers Road peeping Tom incident, you can see in the picture that's depicted on February 18, 2024, he's wearing a gray style sling bag, which appears to be the bag that's worn in that surveillance footage.
This is not a great image quality, I warn you, but it states 247. Do you see that same image in states 247 that you see in your PowerPoint?
Yes.
And can you point to the court, and now that this time you're on the same move to it, states 247.
No objection.
247 submitted.
And I'm just going to publish that to the court so he could see it. That image that's in states 247, do you see that behind you?
Yes, I do. It's in the bottom row. It's the second image from the left, with the date February 18, 2024 below it, and that was the date that it was captured on the phone.
Thank you. Your screen or slide number 7.
Yeah, so this is, again, just showing user attribution to confirm that Jose was in fact using the phone. You can see that there's an image of his New York identification card, which presumably he would only have access to. It documents his name, Jose Antonio Ibarra, with his date of birth of January 5th, 1998. Also lists his address at the time in Jamaica, New York. And that particular image was obtained from his WhatsApp account on evidence item 1B7, and it was captured on September 9th, 2023, as highlighted there. I then blown up the address that's located on the identification card. As you can see, it reads 16520 Archer Avenue, room 111, Jamaica, New York, 11433. And so when we take that address and we go back to the T-Mobile subscriber records, we see that that same address is listed on Jose's subscriber records provided by T-Mobile for the cell phone number assigned to 1B7.
Do you have a time frame in which this cell phone number 1B7 was being used by Jose Ibarra?
Yeah, I believe that it was being used from the time of activation, which would have been on August 10th, 2023, that particular cell phone number. We were able to verify, aside from it being assigned to the phone that belongs to him, we were able to verify that cell phone number through other methods too, that it was being used by Mr. Ibarra.
And until what time?
I'm sorry, can you?
So you said beginning, my question to you is beginning in what time frame and ending in what time frame was he the user of 1B7?
Ending at the date that it was seized from his apartment on February 23rd, 2024.
All right, thank you. What is this that we're looking at here, which is now your slide, please?
This is a screenshot of Mr. Ibarra's WhatsApp account that was taken from evidence item 1B7. It highlights his username, which is LR, and then 2 smiley face emojis with wearing sunglasses. But it shows that his WhatsApp account is assigned the same phone number as the actual device. It also, at the bottom, it showed that his profile name was Victor, which I mentioned earlier. He also goes by the name Victor.
Next slide, which is 10.
Yes, this is again WhatsApp captured from WhatsApp on 1B7 on September 13, 2023. And this is just documenting a photograph that was taken of a direct deposit form for Expectations MasterCard account. Important just to note that one, it's in his name, Jose Ibarra, with his address in Jamaica, New York. And it captures the routing and account number, which will be important in the next slide.
What is WhatsApp, by the way?
WhatsApp is a service that's commonly used. It doesn't necessarily have to run off of a cellular signal. You can use it as long as you have an internet connection. It's frequently used by individuals who maybe have relatives in other countries. It's a very easy method to communicate. So it's a common method of communication that we see.
What are we looking at here in your next slide, which is 10?
So this is a photograph on Jose's WhatsApp account that was recovered from his phone. where he appears to be editing his bank account. You can see in his name of Jose Antonio Ibarra, and the routing number and the account number are match what was shown in the previous slide.
Your slide 11.
This is an actual image, a screenshot that was captured on evidence item 1B7 on September 21st, 2023, and it's just highlighting the fact that the main Google account assigned to the device is in his name, Jose Ibarra, and the Google account is Jose Ibarra 25 1998 at gmail.com.
And you said the main Google account associated with this device. Are there other Google accounts associated with this device?
Yes, there are.
So first of all, how many different Google accounts can you have associated with any device?
I don't know that there's a limit. I mean, you could have multiple on there. In the case of his phone, he did have several, and I was able to tell through Google records that we received that 5 accounts were active on the day of the murder that were associated with his phone.
And how does a person get more than one Google account associated with the device?
You can log in. You can go into your phone and log into Google and you can pull up multiple email accounts on your phone. So and I'm not aware of there being a limit. There could be, but you could definitely have multiple on there. It's not unusual to see.
And this main Google account that you activate or that you notified or discovered, when was it activated?
I'd have to refer to my report on that. I don't recall the actual date. Give me 1 second. This particular account was activated on August 27th, 2023.
And did you find in the 1B7 device another Google account that was associated with Diego Ibarra?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what was that? If you remember the account name, if you do, if you don't, let me know.
I do. If I could refer to my report, I could give it to you. It was Diego, Diego, Jose Ibarra, Ibarra, all one word, and then the number 95 at gmail.com.
Was that Google account active in February of 2024?
No, it was not.
Okay. When tell us about that Google account. When was it deactivated?
So we received records related to that particular account because it did show up on 1B7 with no other activity associated with it in the extraction. But we went to Google with subpoena and court order, and we were able to determine that the account was deleted on January 16th, 2024.
So in February of 2024, that account did not exist?
That's correct.
And when you say associated device, what did you mean by that?
So when the cell phone extraction was completed on 1B7, one of the things that it extracts is the user accounts, or so various accounts like social media accounts, email accounts, WhatsApp accounts, things of that nature that have been accessed at some point in time on the device.
And if you could adjust your microphone a little bit, did you see any evidence that 1B7 ever accessed that Diego Google account?
It just populated as a user account. However, when I looked at the data associated with it for that particular Gmail account, it said it was associated with the Google Drive, but there was no activity related to that account to support it being actively used on the phone.
All right. So now your slide 12, what are we looking at?
Another image located on the WhatsApp account on September 29, 2023, and this is just depicting a boarding pass showing that Mr. Ibarra flew from New York City to Atlanta on September 28th, 2023. And that just blows up showing his name and then the details related to the flight.
Oh, sorry, I started it too soon. We're looking at your slide 13. What is this?
This is a video. It's going to contain several images that were saved in the video section of 1B7, Mr. Ibarra's phone, particularly on
Oops, hold on. Go ahead.
on October 15, 2023. Of the images, the only one of real relevance is this first image that we're looking at here. You can see, again, that he's wearing that gray sling-style bag that's consistent in appearance with the gray sling bag that was seen on the surveillance video on the day of the murder in the area of Rogers Road Apartments.
And is this what's the music associated with this every time I touch the enter button?
That's just some music that Mr. Ibarra would have put as a background to the particular video that he created.
What is slide 14?
Again, this is recovered from Mr. Ibarra's WhatsApp account that was backed up to his cell phone, and this is just depicting his Cash App account. He had taken a screenshot of it, and it appears that he had sent it to somebody, and it shows that his Cash App account is in his name, Jose Antonio Ibarra, and it shows that his Cash App handle is $ Jose Antonio 25 1998.
And is he accessing Cash App through this cell phone?
Yes, and in this next slide here, we went to Cash App with a subpoena to request subscriber information related to that particular Cash App account, and they were able to confirm that that account is associated with his phone number that ends in 3978 that's assigned to evidence item 1B7.
Your slide 16.
Again, this is another image of Mr. Ibarra's identification from New York found on his phone. The relevance on this one is that It was an image saved to 1B7, but it captures what we call metadata, which is basically information about the file. In this particular instance, if you see below in the metadata section, you can see that it lists Samsung and then the model, which matches 1B7. And it also provides geolocation information, meaning it gives us a latitude and a longitude where you can map out where that image was taken. So if you look to the right, and this is from the phone itself, that was the phone plotting where the particular image was taken. And based on my knowledge of the area, it's in the area of his apartment on 2085 South Millage Avenue.
Next slide, 17.
Again, this is the image we discussed earlier from February 18, 2024. This is an image of Mr. Ibarra wearing that distinct black with white patterned shirt that he appears to be wearing when he discards the jacket on surveillance video following the murder, and again, the gray sling bag.
Your slide, I guess this would be 18.
This is, so the phone sometimes will capture money transfers that occur. In this particular instance, this is on February 21st, 2024. This occurs on the evening before the murder, and it's just showing the fact that at 9:30 p.m. there was a charge made from Mr. Ibarra's account at Tall Boy Beverage, which is a liquor store and it sells liquor, wine, and spirits. And that's a picture of it there. That's located walking distance from his apartment.
And what is the date and time of that?
That was on February 21st, 2024 at 9:30 p.m.
I'm moving on to your slide 19.
Yeah, so now we're getting into information as it relates to the date of the murder on February 24th, 2024. Here in this slide, I'm depicting from his call log a missed call that was placed by Mr. Ibarra using his WhatsApp account to an account used by his brother, Diego Ibarra. And as you see below, it'll highlight in a second, you can see that Diego Ibarra's uses the WhatsApp screen name Gocho Hermano. Gocho was an alias that he used, Hermano translating to brother, so essentially Gocho, my brother Gocho. And when we recovered evidence item 1B11 and downloaded that, we were able to tell that that same WhatsApp account that ends in 965 was in fact being used by Diego on that phone.
So then this would reflect, this slide would reflect Jose Ibarra calling through WhatsApp Diego Ibarra on the 22nd day of February 2024 at 2:31 in the morning?
Yes, and the call was not answered.
Okay. What is it that we are looking at the next slide, 21?
Yes, so this is the phone documents in this instance when an image is uploaded from the phone to his Snapchat account. So this image here is showing that at 4:30 in the morning on February 22nd, 2024, this particular image to the left is uploaded to Jose's Snapchat account. It's particularly interesting to us because he's wearing the Adidas hat, which appears to be the same Adidas hat that is worn by the subject or worn by Mr. Ibarra when he discards the jacket in the dumpster. It also is him wearing that same T-shirt that he appears to be wearing under the navy blue jacket.
Okay, I want to go back really quickly because the image that we just looked at on your slide 21, the hat looks blue, correct? Well, it does to me. My eyesight may be a little different. But you've seen this image in the returns that are in evidence, correct?
Yes.
What is the color of that Adidas hat?
It's black.
Okay, let me go back to the very first one. We can do it.
There you go.
Okay, so you have several different images of the hat. Would that be right?
Yes.
At this exact time period, at 4 to 5 a.m. on the
Yes, in the
22nd.
hours leading up to the murder.
Some of them would be on his phone itself, 1B7, and then that image was uploaded to Snapchat. Would that be right?
Yes.
Okay, so in the Snap returns and in the phone itself, what color is the hat?
Black.
Okay, and is that what we see here on your very first slide, or slide 7, I think, or second slide?
Yes, it's emphasized more in this photo because it's obviously up against the navy blue jacket.
Okay.
But yes, it's black.
Thank you. And it's better depicted, like right here, they're side by side on this slide, 222, 24, 222, 24. Do you see them side by side?
I do, and that image to the left was taken at 4:30 in the morning, and then the image to the right was at 5:37 in the morning on the date of the incident.
So these two images are separated by how much time?
So from 4:30 to 5:30, a little bit over an hour.
And in the return itself, the image that we see, just the shirt, not the jacket, the hat is what color?
Black.
Okay. Thank you. Now what are we looking at, which is your slide 22?
This is going to be a video that was captured on February 22nd, 2024 at approximately 5 in the morning, and it's going to contain images of Jose, as well as a Latin style song played in the background with the lyrics of the song being posted or being essentially placed on the images by Jose.
Okay, so the video was posted on what day?
On February 22nd, 2024 at 5 a.m. local time.
But we see is that Jose depicted in this image?
It is. And this video here, it wasn't posted. It was a video that was saved on the device itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then how is it associated with the modified date of 2/22? I mean, was he wearing that we just saw a photograph of this.
No. So why it's relevant is there's going to be several images that are posted there, and it's going to show these images that we just saw of him wearing.
I'm gonna play it. Okay. So what is it that we just viewed when we hit that video?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What is it that we just saw? If you could just tell us for the record, because we played.
Yes, that is a video that was created by Mr. Ibarra, and he has taken obviously that image and another image, and he's created a video, and he's placed words that are essentially the lyrics of the song over the video as it plays.
Okay. And I'm sorry, so there we go. I'm gonna wait for it to play again. Okay, so did you have those words translated?
Yes, I did.
And who at the FBI did that for you?
Abasis Ramirez.
And who is Abasis Ramirez?
She's a staff operations specialist, for short, SOS. It's assigned to our office in Athens. She's essentially an analyst.
And does she speak Spanish fluently?
Yes.
And what was going on then at about 5 o'clock in the morning with this video? Well, if you could just translate it for us or tell us the English version.
Yeah, based on her translation.
Is this not what we talked about? We're going to wait on this?
Yes, Your Honor, it is. Oh, thank you. I will wait on that.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll skip by that and we'll wait for Ms. Abasis.
I didn't read it for that reason.
All right, thank you.
Okay, all right.
Slide 23.
So again, this is showing another upload from the phone to Snapchat, and it shows that on February 22nd, 2024 at 5:37 a.m. The image depicted to the left, which is Jose Ibarra wearing the black Adidas hat with a navy jacket with the hood pulled up. That image was uploaded to his Snapchat account. And then this is a second image that was uploaded at seconds later at 5:37 a.m. Very similar image. His face is just angled a little bit differently, but as you can see, he's wearing the same clothing.
Sorry. Okay. We're going to skip this over until Miss Obasis is there as well, okay? Miss Ramirez, I'm sorry. So we're skipping all of these, and we're going to device events. If you could, we are now on, I believe, your slide number 27.
Yeah, so when Celebrate downloads the phone, it has the capability sometimes in showing the device events that occurred on the phone. So for example, when the phone's plugged in or when it's unplugged. In this particular instance, what we're showing here is that the device was plugged in at 9:58 in the morning on February 22nd, 2024. And why this is important is we have the murder of Laken Riley, and then of course, after the murder occurs, we see Mr. Ibarra on surveillance footage at 9:44 in the morning, discarding the navy jacket that ultimately contained a mixture of Mr. Ibarra and Ms. Riley's DNA. We then see him walk towards his apartment and discard some gloves and some shrubs, and then continue on towards his apartment. So that was at 9:44 in the morning, and then 14 minutes later, he's in his apartment, and we believe he's in his apartment based on location data associated with the phone, and he's plugging his phone in at 9:58 in the morning.
Your next slide.
So in the next couple slides, we're just going to show the actual user-initiated activity from the device, meaning the outgoing communications that happen on the device on February 22nd, 2024. So the last outgoing message that is sent from 1B7 is a group message. It's a video that had been deleted, so I'm unsure of the content of that video. But at 6:20 in the morning, you have an outgoing WhatsApp message from 1B7. We don't see any other outgoing calls, text messages over social media again until February 22nd, 2024 at 1:55 a.m. And that's when he responds to a WhatsApp message sent at 11:14 in the morning from Laken Mendoza, his wife. He responds to that message at 11:55 a.m. So essentially, we've got no outgoing communications on the date of the murder from 6:20 in the morning until 11:55 in the morning.
Okay. And that's outgoing communications by the user of 1B7. Now let's talk about the phone itself. If a person is not using 1B7, is the phone still collecting data?
Yes.
And what is Rubin data?
Rubin data is personalization data, and I'll just read what I have written here because it summarizes it. Samsung Rubin data is a service provided by Samsung that collects information about your devices, such as their settings, status, and stored applications. It's designed to log valuable data such as call log, text messages, contacts, and other user activity, including the device's location, from your phone, which in this case we were able to access through our Celebrite Premium forensic tool. So we were essentially able to download this data. And according to Samsung, we spoke with representatives from Samsung to learn more about it. They stated that the user of the device would have to opt in.
No, that's a,
Yes,
yeah. I'll cover that with our next witness who's an expert on this issue. Let's go to Snapchat.
So, of course, we saw those images that were uploaded from the phone to Snapchat. So then, to be thorough, our next step was to go to Snapchat with a search warrant just to be able to corroborate what we were seeing and get the records directly from Snapchat.
And were you able to corroborate the things you saw on the phone through Snapchat?
Yes, we were. We were also able to identify other images of importance, again, showing Mr. Ibarra wearing that black and white T-shirt that was on February 17th in the sling bag. And then again, on February 17th, we see that image that we've already seen several times.
Yep.
And then we're able to corroborate the fact that at 4:30 in the morning, he posted that image to his Snapchat account, which matches what we saw on the phone. Snapchat's able to give us geolocation information associated with that. When we map that out, it appears that the image was posted when he was at his apartment or in the area of his apartment. Again, what we just covered at 5:37, the same images that we're seeing on the phone are in fact in Snapchat records. And those are the two images of him wearing the navy blue jacket and the black hat. And in both those images geolocate to the area of his apartment D126.
And that's what you just told us. Am I going the wrong way? No. Google records.
Yeah, so as mentioned, we did obtain Google records on multiple accounts. And so this particular account here, the Jose Ibarra 251998@gmail.com, was connected to evidence item 1B7, the phone. And through these records, we're able to see that the account was created on August 27, 2023, is subscribed in the name Jose Ibarra. And it also shows that this particular account was logged into on the date of the murder at 3:07 in the morning.
TikTok.
So we went to TikTok to obtain records from them as well, pursuant to a search warrant. And the records here are in relation to an account used by Mr. Ibarra in the name Victor Franco, which, as I mentioned, is an alias used by him. And so these records are showing that the account is in that name. It shows that it was created on February 13th, 2024. And it also shows an associated Facebook account with the same name. And then when we look further into the records, we see this is just a sampling of a selfie image, which is a profile picture providing further evidence he's a user of the account, as well as a video from that particular account showing that he's using it.
And does that complete your review of 1B7?
Yes.
And was there any evidence that anyone other than Jose Ibarra was using 1B7 in the phone?
No. And on the particular day of the murder, he was logged into multiple accounts and was communicating using multiple accounts, that being WhatsApp, TikTok, Snapchat. So no, there was no evidence of anybody else using the phone.
Did you also review 1B11, which is Diego Ibarra's phone?
I did.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about that phone and what was in it.
Yeah, so it's a Motorola Moto G Play phone. It was assigned cell phone number 404-416-5213. And I listed the device identifiers. I could read them in the record if you need me to.
That's okay.
Okay. And so what we were able to do, and before we get into it, so these particular records, when the extraction occurred, when the Celebrite that extracted the records, when it produced them, they were actually produced in local time. So there's no need to do that 5-hour conversion. So what we see on the records is real time here in Athens, Georgia.
Did Diego Ibarra have service to that phone?
No, not at the time. On February 22nd, 2024, there was no cellular service to that device.
So because of that, what are we looking at here to the next slide, which is your slide number 47?
This is just showing the outgoing activity from that particular device. So as I mentioned, it did not have cell phone service, but he appeared to be using the internet on it, or he had an internet connection somehow. And so that shows that at 3:19 a.m. he sent an outgoing email was sent from that device to hello@poweredbypercent.com email address. There was no content associated with that email, but that is the last outgoing communication on the date of the murder. And then the next outgoing communication would be a WhatsApp message that was sent at 3:24 in the afternoon on February 22nd. So we have no outgoing communications on February 22nd between 3:19 in the morning and 3:24 p.m. in the afternoon.
And is
then-
there any, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead. That's fine.
I was going to ask you, are you able to get any geolocation data off of 1B11?
No, so this is a Motorola cell phone. It's a phone that you would typically buy at Walmart with prepaid service, so it wasn't a very, what I would call, advanced phone. A Samsung like we saw Mr. Ibarra had, is a far better phone than a Motorola phone. So it did not collect the same amount of information that the Samsung phone collected as far as location information.
What about cell phone records for that phone, 1B11?
Yeah, so we went to Verizon with a search warrant in an effort to get location records associated with the number assigned to 1B11. We were able to get some records related to that particular phone number. However, we were able to see that it was not active on February 22nd. There was no service provided to the phone, and the last activity appeared to be between February 10th, 2024 and February 12th, 2024. So no activity after February 12th.
No cellular activity?
No cell phone activity, no IP activity. And we also went to TrackPhone, because TrackPhone is a prepaid service that uses Verizon's network. We went to them, and they essentially provided the same information.
So there was just no service to that phone?
Yes.
May I have one moment, Your Honor? I'll pass the witness, thank you.
Your Honor, before I begin, I want to enter into the record a stipulation between the parties. This will be admitted as Defense Exhibit 1. The stipulation covers basically how the cell phone data was extracted, how the defense counsel gained access to that data, and it addresses my motion to reconsider and motion to suppress, as well as listing the various accounts that were found on phone 1B7. May I approach and... Sure. May I present my approach?
Stipulated by prosecution of the defense, D1 is admitted.
Agent Hipkiss, in your testimony, you stated that there was no evidence that anyone other than Jose Ibarra used phone 1B7.
Yes.
You are aware that...
On the date of the murder.
Okay, that was kind of where I'm glad you said that. You are aware that there actually is evidence that other people used his phone on prior dates.
There's no substantial evidence to indicate that anybody used his phone for any significant period of time, but as we highlighted on direct, Diego did have two accounts associated with that phone that had been accessed at an unknown time. However, in relation to the period leading up to the murder, Jose Ibarra was using that phone.
Following up on your substantial use, you're aware that the phone 1B7 was used to access the app Grindr,
Yes.
and you're aware that Grindr is an application, a way for people to communicate, and it's particular to the homosexual community.
Yes.
And you are aware that Detective Norris and Raboud followed up on some of those contacts that were obtained from this phone, is that correct?
Yes.
And you're aware that other people identified different users of that phone besides Jose Ibarra?
Objection to characterization of that testimony.
I can rephrase to make it clearer, Your Honor, but there is evidence that we're just trying to get on the record. When they said there's no substantial use, or no substantial evidence of anyone else using the phone, that opened the door to this impeachment evidence.
I would disagree that it's impeachment. I'm going to object to the form of the question, and maybe it can be broken down in a different way.
Yes, Your Honor. I guess I'll start by saying, have you read the detective's report in this case, Detective Norris and Detective Raboud?
No.
Okay. Are you aware of all of their investigation?
Yes, I've worked with them on this investigation, but obviously I'm more aware of what my personal involvement was.
Sure. You're aware that Detective Norris and Raboud followed up on some of the contacts obtained from Grindr on 1B7?
Yes, I am aware that they went out and interviewed people. I was not present for those interviews, so I'm not aware of what was said.
Sure. You're also aware that some of those contacts from Grindr also texted through WhatsApp this phone number?
Right, to Jose's WhatsApp. So essentially, several of those messages transitioned from Grindr to the WhatsApp account used by
And you're aware that when asked who they were communicating with via the WhatsApp account, they identify someone other than Jose Ibarra.
I'm not aware. I wasn't present for that interview, so I haven't read the reports. I'm not aware of what was said.
Okay. On the list of Gmail accounts that you saw, I want to just kind of talk about a couple of them. One of them was Mendo mailing to sex@gmail.com.
Yes.
And you're aware that Jose's mother-in-law, her name was Mailing,
Yes.
and for the record, Mailing is spelled M-A-Y-L-I-N-G. You're also aware that there was a Gmail account on there, Franco, Franco, LOLO529 @gmail.com.
Yes.
And you're aware that Layling, his wife, that was maiden name was Franco.
Yes.
And Layling, for the record, spelled Layling. Besides Diego's Gmail account, there also was data on 1B7 suggesting that his Facebook account had been logged into.
Yes.
And he had two separate Facebook accounts that he logged into on 1B7, or that were logged into Diego Ibarra's Facebook on 1B7.
I'm aware of just one, and that being Gocho Franco account. I'm not aware of two. I'm aware of two total accounts that are related to Diego, one being the Gmail account, what we discussed, which was deleted on January 16th, 2024, so over a month before the murder occurred. Additionally, I'm aware of a Facebook account, yes, and that being with the screen name Gocho Franco. And I did do additional research on that particular account, and we received records from Google pursuant to a subpoena and a court order, and the records reflected that that Facebook account had not been logged into since January 25th, 2024.
So
also,
the year that we're talking about, in 2024, Diego's Facebook account was logged into?
yes, but it was never logged into in any. That was as close to the murder as we were able to see any sort of. And to be frank, we don't know that he logged in from that device on January 25th, 2024. That was the last activity on that account.
Sure.
The Celebrate report does not reflect any information of when those accounts were logged into.
So you can't say for certain when the last were logged into on 1B7?
No, but based on my experience, I've reviewed a lot of phones. If somebody was actively using those accounts on the phone, like we would see some sort of messaging or emails to.
He's permitted to explain things.
I'll allow him to continue to explain this.
Normally, we would see additional information of those accounts being used if they were being used in relation to the murder. There was no evidence to support that. It just, all that it showed was at some point in time, that device would have accessed those accounts. And again, both those accounts, one was deleted on January 6th, the Gmail, or 16th, excuse me, the Gmail account, and then the Facebook account had not been logged into from any device since January 25th, 2024.
But answer my question, the dates on the phone didn't tell you when they were logged into the Facebook account for Diego Ibarra?
No, the only information that was associated with those accounts was the actual account names, and that was it.
Also, in the user account section of the cell phone, there was a user account for Rose Bailey Flores Bello Facebook. Do you recall seeing that?
Can you give me the account name, please?
Yes. Your Honor, may I approach and retrieve the stipulation on
You may.
It's not in the stipulation. Do you recall, you can say yes or no, do you recall seeing?
No, I don't recall any account with Rose Belly Flores Bello by that name being on the phone.
Your Honor, I'm going to request, consider taking a lunch break right now. I do need to print out the information that the agent is requesting to see. I don't have it printed, and I apologize about that.
You want to be heard on break now? I don't know what
No, sir,
schedule is or anything like that, so.
I'm at the court's pleasure.
That's
That's
understandable.
break now.
Sure. All right, we'll go take lunch back in an hour or 1:30.